Welcome everyone. Frontier opening bell, the second trading day of the week, the 28th of December. I am boasting on Mofaye. This was how we're getting the day started in the countdown to the Christmas long holiday weekend, which starts off on Sunday. But the Nigerian market still rolling on. A bit of a Santa Claus rally. We're seeing the market is now up roughly 16% from where it fell during the second to the third half of the quarter of the year. Started the year around 18%. Now we're clawing back roughly 2% more to go before the year comes to an end. Let's see how the market works. But again, 49,396 was where the NGX Russia Index finished off on Monday. Boa Cement and a few other big names gave the market that roughly 0.2% in the green. The BRVM lost 0.64% in West Africa. The EGX down by 0.75%, while the Nairobi securities market was up by 11 on the day that the IMF releases Article 4 consultation report for the EFF and ECF disbursement of about $500 million to the administration of William Ruto in Kenya. But there are requirements that the IMF wants the new government in Nairobi to take care of. In particular, the troubled Kenya Airways, as well as the Kenya Power Holding Company, the KPLC listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. Yesterday, the stock markets came to rally around Ramaphosa, who got the re-election bid from his party, the ANC. That happened. The stock market jumped 0.51%. 10 years South African government bond also declined to about 10.51%. That's the yield. While the currency, the rand, jumped about 2.2% early in the morning, first and early, around 10 a.m. South African time, on the news that President Ramaphosa has secured another bid to contest in the next general elections as the president of South Africa. He's got his political life jacket on right now. That's the latest from there. Take the markets down. Let's look at big stories from East Africa. I just talked about the IMF Article 4 consultation report by the IMF with the administration of William Ruto, the first of such engagement with the Ruto's administration since he came into office just about a few months ago. In the meantime, the DR Congo has raised once again the country's budget size for next year. It's going to be about 32.45 Congolese francs. That's the latest after the parliament and the government were able to resolve the provisions of finance bill that was presented as part of the 2023 year budget. And Mauritania says it's privatized the state-owned Somagas. Get the big government out of the way, put it in the pocket of the private sector, let it be a strong running entity, looking at its neighbors, Morocco, Egypt, Algeria, and a few others. So that's good news from the Western Sahara, where Mauritania, north of the continent, is based. And Kenya's Revenue Authority, it says its revenue collection was up about 10% because the economy is recovering on the back of COVID-19 pandemics, now slowing down significantly across a number of frontier African economies. And not some pretty good news from Ethiopia, where the FX reserves can only fetch the country 3 months of imports. That's a very dangerous zone. You need minimum of 6 to 9 or 11 months import cover for your FX reserves. It goes down to 3 months. That's a danger zone. In the meantime, some analysts are expecting that the Ethiopian currency, the birr, should be devalued at least by 75% in the first quarter of next year to allow for more stability in the country's foreign exchange market. That's a whole lot of head scratching towards the end of the year for Prime Minister Abiy to deal with after he's resolved the Tigray region crisis, civil war, and has got to deal with economic and financial markets issues, including fiscal balance. Let's take it all up to West Africa, where the Nigeria's Bureau of Public Enterprises is asking all banks in Nigeria to divest their 60% holdings in all the power home companies and get new investors on board. The BP says it's going to be supervising this particular deal to ensure that new core investors in the power distribution companies, 6 of them in Nigeria, will be those who are fit for business in the power sector. Nigerian government is looking to revive the country's ailing power sector moving forward. Yesterday, not so good news as well from Ghana, suspending payments on some of the bilateral loans, including Eurobond, as well as commercial loans, just as the Minister of Finance, Kero Furiata, announced that the government bond holders in the country, the debt exchange program, which was announced about 3 weeks ago, is now been extended onto the 6th of January next year. The initial deadline was yesterday, Monday, the 19th of December. It's now been extended because of the holiday, and a few others who are still warming up to the new arrangement. The coupon on the new matured government bond, Ghana's government bond, will be 0 coupon for this year. That's been graduated to about 5% for the longest dated tenors that is now being rejigged and being offered local investors. But some pretty bad news, as it were. Some international creditors are really concerned about the latest technical default that Ghana has gotten into. And this comes just a few days after Ghana got a $3 billion IMF bailout facility, which is taking a couple of weeks and months to be ironed out. And Senegal has issued about 150 billion CFA franc in treasury bonds. Is looking, that's been a 12-month treasury bonds, so that about 5.95%. That is looking to fund part of its 2023 budget, Senegal in West Africa. And Equatorial Guinea is extending an invitation to ExxonMobil and Chevron, two of the global IOCs, to be part of its hydrocarbon exploration in the West African country. Those are some of the big news we're pursuing right here on this side of the continent. Let's take it to Southern Africa. Ramaphosa and the market rally being in love with ENC's decision. So he remains on seat. He's going to be contesting for the next election. And that's so. But the problems aren't away as far as the utility company Eskom is concerned. So Eskom's debt, according to Inogudongwana, the finance minister, says Eskom's debt is on track and there'll be no default. Creditors should stay put. In the meantime, Zambia's National Commercial Bank has been able to secure 50 million US dollars credit line to keep that bank in place and continue to be able to intervene in some critical sectors of the Zambian economy. President Chilema is holding a major press conference today and asking the press to tell him what he wants to do for the country. That's a big press briefing which will be holding today. President Chilema has been celebrating his country's return to some measure of stability despite the country's huge debt running to about 20 billion US dollars, which is not yet been resolved with global international creditors. But at home, we've seen the Zambian kwacha, the currency moving up steadily since he took office. And Eurobonds state, according to news reports, what Africans will be paying on Eurobond for this year will be about $5 billion, or next year will be about $5 billion. That is expected to go up to $10 billion in repayment of a Eurobond between 2024 and 2025 period. And that's also in the news. Part of that you see in the fallout from both Zambia and Ghana. Okay, let's look into the North Africa, where it all started. Let's get a couple of news. Egypt has also secured $3 billion in funding facility from the International Monetary Fund. The initial figure being bandied around was about $5 billion. Eventually, $3 billion has been approved for the President Al-Sisi's administration. In the meantime, the Egyptian Stock Exchange has unveiled details of the plan by Vodacom to buy a minority stake in Vodafone of Egypt. You want to invest, you get that. It's all in the news. And Egypt says it's ready-made Garments Chamber and International Finance Corporation, which is the private sector lending arm of the World Bank, have signed a cooperation protocol. And we wish you folks all the best. And France and Algeria have been able to mend fences after several months of a visa policy row between the two countries. And we say, well done, guys. Keep it running. That's about your Frontier Opening Bell for today, Tuesday, the 20th of December. Clocking down to Christmas. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you next time.